All right, so Penglai, right? You've got to hear about this place. It's got a temple, the Eight Immortals, and well, it's just a trip. I mean, seriously, I went there thinking, oh, it's just another temple. It's gonna be super boring. But I left feeling like I stepped into an entire another world. So Penglai is on the coast, where these eight legendary immortals are supposed to have hung out. They're like a cool kids of Taos legends. Not boring legends though. Each one of these guys had powers, they're funny, and they're just interesting. Imagine eight people with their own special abilities, living in harmony, learning, and well, just being immortal. You walk into the temple, and it's not like stuffy museum or anything. It's more like you're walking into a really cool story. Each one of the buildings are amazing, with all those classic Chinese roofs and carvings. I remember just staring up at the roof lines, trying to figure out how they got those intricate details all carved in. It's almost like a movie set, but it's in real life. I actually took a ton of pictures of the roof details, and I still look at them absolutely amazed at how long it must have taken them to complete. Then as you walk around, you'll see the statues of the Eight Immortals. Each one of them has their own building, and you'll see them many times during the video. Each one has their own thing going on. There's Iron Crutch Lee, the healer. He's got a crutch, yeah, but he's also like original natural medicine guy. I was thinking if I had a sore back, I'd totally want him around. And Hong Zong Lee, he's the fun one, always laughing. You can tell he's a blast to hang out with. I mean, I bet he's the one who'd bring the best snacks to a picnic. When you come here, you don't really need to know anything about history or anything about this place. It's just got this like feeling. Like you can imagine them there telling stories, maybe pulling some pranks. They're known for that too. I remember reading that they'd sometimes play tricks on people who were too serious, just to lighten things up. I think we could all use a little more of that, right? They also had these cool magical items. One had a flower basket that could hold anything. Another had a flute that could control nature. Like, how cool is that? I was thinking that if I had a flute, I'd totally make it rain when my garden needed watering, so I didn't need to go outside. When there were a super group with their magic and wisdom, and they weren't all serious either. I bet they had some epic jam sessions. And when you come here, it's not just about the statues, nor the history, it's the whole vibe. You can wander around the gardens, find a quiet spot, and just chill. I actually found this little bench tucked away in the corner, sat there for ages, watching the butterflies and just listening to the birds. It's so peaceful. It's not about seeing stuff, but about feeling it. You know, when you find a place you can just breathe. That's how it is there. You know, when you travel and you find a place that's just different? Well, this is that temple. It's not just another tourist trap. Well, I mean, it could be if you feel that way, but like, it's a real magical experience. You could step out of your everyday life into the world of stories, and maybe just a bit of magic. Even if you're not into that magic stuff or anything with believing exactly the old stories, it's still a really cool place to visit. The buildings are gorgeous, the gardens are peaceful, and the stories are just plain fun. I mean, I can only imagine the conversations that they had. At this point, we're heading into a part of the park that you can see how big this temple really is. So if you look far in the distance, you're going to be able to see temples all the way on the top of the island. And that is actually pretty important because that's how far the park expands to. In this area, you can take a gondola over to a completely another temple and just hang out there for the afternoon. Also spent quite a while looking at the trees in the gardens. They're so old, and some of them, I was wondering what they've seen. I was thinking maybe they'd seen the Eight Immortals themselves, walking through the gardens having a chat. You know, those little daydreams when you make a place feel that more real. And the people who are visiting the temple too, they're all so respectful and quiet. It wasn't like a crowded tourist spot where everything is fast and everyone's just rushing through. There's a real sense of peace. I saw a few people lighting incense, and one of the things you have to do when you see that each one of the immortals is bow. It made me think about the power of belief and how places like this can bring people together. You know, I took a lot of videos while I was there too, not just of the buildings, but little things like the birds and the trees and the way the sunlight was hitting the leaves. I wanted to just capture that piece so I could bring it home with me and share it with you. And whenever I watch those videos, it takes me right back there. I remember this one moment I was sitting by a little pond and there was dragonflies buzzing around. And I was thinking, it's pretty amazing, you know? And places like this remind you of that. They remind you of there's more to the world than just your everyday life. And so yeah, if you're ever in Penglai or you have the courage to visit China, seriously go check out the Eight Immortals Temple. It's not just a place to see, it's a place to experience. And who knows, maybe you'll even catch a glimpse of a little bit of magic yourself. Or at least you'll have a really good story to tell, and a feeling of peace that'll stick with you for a long time. I've got a bit more content that I'm going to be posting in the next couple days, so be sure to check out my other videos and subscribe for the latest China content that I'm going to be having for quite a bit on this channel. For now, enjoy the rest of the video.